Welcome to TiEcon Live. My name is Neha Dadbhawala. I have the pleasure of introducing Mr. Mangesh Pimpalkhare. He is a part of Thomas Weisel Venture Partners since 2001, and I could say very safely another chip designer turned into a VC. Welcome to our studio.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about your background with Thomas Weisel and the things that you've done prior to that.
Sure. So as you said, I was a chip designer before making the transition to, as some say, the dark side, and started my career at a company called Intel, which most people know, and a company called NeoMagic, which most of the people probably don't know. And after doing that for 7 or 8 years, wanted to do something different and stay involved with technology on a broader basis. But shift to a more of a coaching role as opposed to being involved in technology myself. And so I went off to business school and made the transition to Thomas Weisel Venture Partners. So I've been there for the last 7 years, and something that I enjoy doing.
So a lot of people say that once you go to B school, they either instill this in you that you have to do something drastic. It kind of changes your life for the better, and like a 360-degree change from a chip designer, going into something like this. What about the B school? What is it about the B school that actually makes you, have this change?
So I don't know if B school makes your life better, but the one thing I'll tell you is it does make you risk averse.
Really?
And that in some ways flows into the venture capital business, because what venture capitalists are trying to do in some ways is build a portfolio. So instead of relying on one single idea, they invest in a multitude of ideas, and the whole concept being if there's risk of failure, it's balanced out by the upside of some unique ideas and things that do extremely well.
So basically lets you create a portfolio of unique kind of risk and split your
That's right. It diversifies away the unique risk, and what you ultimately succeed by is the law of numbers. So if you're doing a good job in terms of investing in a strategic fashion, ultimately your winners will more than compensate for your losers.
Well, I think you bring a very unique perspective to our TiE conference this year. What are you personally wanting to give to the eBazaar and the conference, and what are you looking for actually at the eBazaar?
Yeah, so honestly, I wasn't looking to participate in eBazaar. It fell my way by happenstance.
Okay.
And I was on a ski trip with Ajay Chopra, who many of you may know, chaired the eBazaar event last year.
That's right.
And on my way back after a long day of skiing, he was saying that now that he knew me for half a day, he thought that something that would really interest me would be the role that he played last year. And when he described what the event was all about, really made a lot of sense to me. In fact, the Bay Area is an ideal place where there's a great mix of entrepreneurs as well as VCs. And given the opportunity to play a facilitator role, that was definitely something that appealed to me.
So Ajay must have given you a few seconds spiel on what the TiE conference is, and must have given you some value propositions that really hit your attention. If you were to talk about those value propositions that TiE provides to our folks outside, what would those be?
Yeah, so I think TiE in many ways is the essence of entrepreneurship. This event itself, if you look at the whole team pulling together this event where you're going and selling the whole idea to entrepreneurs, you're going and selling the same idea to venture capitalists, and creating a marketplace and creating a whole new concept where there is value to the entrepreneur, but there's also value to the venture capitalists who can come and meet a lot of interesting people with great ideas. That typifies, I think, what TiE brings to the community. So it's not just a value to the entrepreneurs or the service providers or the venture capitalists. It's something for the entire ecosystem.
Great. Today, I think we've also seen a lot of volatility in the economy outside. There are people, they're scared about the fact that people aren't investing in new stuff, but definitely you are seeing the industry and monitoring it. Where are some of the areas which are hot picks for you? Some things that you are investing in?
Yeah, so those are, I would break those into two different questions.
Sure.
The first part about the economy, in many ways, if the economy isn't doing well and we're going through a low phase, that's arguably a great time to be investing. Because these are the times that you find great value, and as you know, venture capital does not have a short horizon. It has a 5-year horizon. So what matters is not how the market is doing today, but how it does 5 or 7 years from now. And that's when companies who start out with great ideas will actually get to the phase where they harvest their value. The second part of the question was what we are investing in. Mm-hmm. We try to stay away from the so-called hot sectors, because by the time a sector is hot, if you read a Gartner report or if you read it in the Wall Street Journal, it's probably too late. There are probably 20 companies funded by other venture capitalists. And
right.
People who I respect a lot, but I don't want to be investing by the time they've invested in 10 such companies.
Okay.
So what we try to do is find value in sectors that are off the radar screen, if you will. And many times these are applications targeted at vertical markets that most people may not have heard of, but those are big opportunities. So I can give you an example. One of the
Sure.
companies I work with develops electronic shelf labels for supermarkets. So you look at grocery stores, and it's a huge vertical market. There aren't 10 technology companies providing solutions for those kind of customers. So we look at opportunities where there can be big standalone companies and where there isn't a lot of venture competition.
Great. I think nobody has actually gone into the matter so deeply, and it must be a difficult task to actually scout for such things, correct? Because there's a wave, and then everybody follows that wave, but you take the little smaller roads, apart from that, and like find things which are kind of unique in a way.
That's exactly right. And getting to how do we find such opportunities, we need to be especially proactive when it comes to deal sourcing. So we can't rely on companies coming to us. We also rely heavily on just being proactive and going and calling some of these companies and getting in touch before they get to know us.
So do you have some kind of superpowers that helps you do all of this? I mean, you're trying to scout for things, and also knowing you personally, I've seen that I've heard that you actually cycle on as a hobby, and I've also heard that Tom, the partner at your firm, is also an athlete. I mean, people from various natures actually come together. How do you balance all of that? How do you balance a work and life kind of thing?
Yeah, so I think talking of superpowers, Tom Weisel is someone who definitely has superpowers. Many of the people in the Valley know him as a pioneering investment banker, but I'm not sure the same people know that he's a world-class sportsman. He was a nationals level skier, and he's also a world record-setting cyclist himself. Other than being involved in...
And you are one as well.
Well, I'm trying to get there, but I'm not quite there yet. And I do enjoy cycling, though, just around my home, much more on a recreational basis.
So if somebody were to catch you offline somewhere, we would find you on the mountains cycling, correct?
That's right. Struggling to climb up some of the hills near my house.
So, Mangesh, if you were to be written about on a billboard on a highway, what would that say?
Yeah, so going back to something I said earlier, I would love to advertise myself as a technology coach. And the whole idea why I got into venture capital was to coach entrepreneurs. And having worked in technology companies myself, I've been a player before. But as you get older, I think you want to be less active and be on the sidelines, but at the same time make use of your experience and see if you can help others. So the coaching aspect of venture capital appeals to me a lot, and that's what I would like to put on a billboard.
So if you were to sum up entrepreneurship in today's society in one phrase or one line, what would that be?
I think it's Silicon Valley. I mean, you don't even need a line for that. And I would say that TiE typifies what you find in Silicon Valley and keeps that culture alive. And many times people have written off the Valley and said that there's obviously centers of innovation elsewhere in the world, and a lot of them are in countries other than the US. But I still am a firm believer that the Valley has reinvented itself several times over again, and that's not about to end anytime soon.
Great. So if you're a chip designer or an athlete on weekends, that does not mean that you don't have the entrepreneur in you. Thank you, Mangesh, for being with us at the studio today. This was TiEcon Live.